Look at the picture. See the skull. Visible Frankenstein controls. The Brain Thoughts broadcasting radio. The Frankenstein earphone radio. The latest new skull reforming to contain all Frankenstein controls.
Good evening, everyone. We are sponsored this time by Grank Whistletooth's Soufflé Shack of Suffering, now offering freshly baked desserts. They were formerly called Grank Whistletooth's Dimension of Anguish or some other such Taylorific nonsense.
Breath of the Wild.
They want to invite y'all to come on down and slip on a Hot Wheels car and herniate a spinal disc. That's what you do there. But yes, good evening, everyone.
I feel like my spinal disc is herniating.
I every day.
Something's fucked up with my back.
Once you hit 30, your back is fucked, and that's just a reality that we're having to come to terms with.
I need a back brace. I'm going to be the Forrest Gump of fat guys.
Breath of the Wild.
Yes. But anyway, good evening and welcome as always to Frankenstein Control, your dutiful armchair journalists, well, more like blanket pile, toilet, and floor journalists. During these strange times, it is now officially summer, which means for those of us here in the Delmarva area that we've officially entered the sauna of the damned part of the year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Particularly for those of us without AC in our cars.
You really need to get like a Freon injection or something.
That is not happening after buying a house. Literally every red cent of my money is going to that from now on.
Well, I mean...
Forever, for the rest of my life.
Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
Okay.
Today was also an election day for several states, including our own.
Oh.
Don't worry, though, you two, because our district didn't have any primaries. I looked it up. Usually I'm on top of that shit, so this caught me by surprise. I was like, oh, shit, it's election day. I should have been paying fucking attention. The world's on fire, and
I'm not contributing or solving it.
No, but all of the people in our districts are running unopposed, so we're good.
Hey-o.
We're certainly better off than Kentucky, for example, which went to the polls today under the nightmare specter of pestilence and death. But enough about Mitch McConnell. His would-be Democratic challengers were competing today to see who gets the honor of being the full focus of his campaign of voter suppression come November.
Yeah.
And to that effect, state election officials made sure that only 170 polling places in all of Kentucky remained open today out of their full 3,700. Ostensibly, that's because of Ravir and his escapade of trouser thefts, but,
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. So, lots of other crazy stuff has been happening as people are emerging from full lockdowns all over the country, and the shoddiest necromancers money can buy are puppeting the corpse of the U.S. economy around in an increasingly transparent attempt to convince everyone that all is well.
Mm-hmm.
Seems the stress is getting to some people worse than others. Elon Musk, or should I say Treelon Musk, has been toking it up and hitting the Twitter and talking about giving us all a worldwide space internet. He also lost focus at one point and rambled for, about several tweets about how the rhyme says all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't fix Humpty Dumpty. Does that mean he made the horses try first? Somebody make sure that isn't a Stephen Wright joke or something I subconsciously stole.
Breath of the Wild.
Speaking of Elon, I made a joke in the Discord earlier today. Maddie said that Elon and Grimes named their kid after keyboard mashing a TI-83. And I said that they're going to name their next kid 80085. I amused myself, and then at the suggestion of the couple of our friends who saw it, I quickly deleted it so I could reuse it in this podcast today. Also in the news, it is revealed that Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. His death was actually faked, and he was stripped of all his memories and transformed into a cat-like creature. So
so he's not even dead. He's still at large,
and he's working with a group of kids trying to recover his memories.
No. What the fuck?
What if you did all the shit in Persona 5, trying to help Morgana reclaim his memories? And at the end of the game, he's fucking Jeffrey Epstein. This whole time he was insisting that he was a human. What would you do if he was like, I'm getting my memories back, and he was Jeffrey Epstein, and suddenly his attraction to Lady An suddenly took on a different cast.
I don't know whether it would just go to the immediate bottom of my list of games of all time, or if it would just rise even farther to the top because that's the greatest punk in history. But that is a funny scenario nonetheless. Wow.
Speaking of video games, I sensed a theme there from Ada earlier. Is there something you want to tell us about there, Ada?
Breath of the Wild, Breath of the Wild, Breath of the Wild, Breath of the Wild.
Oh, so you want to talk about Doom Eternal?
I've been playing Breath of the Wild a lot. It's great.
So welcome to our podcast where we play games years after they have any relevance in the discourse.
Well, Breath of the Wild 2 is gonna come out, so one's relevant again.
Flashback to our episode of Frankenstein Control many years ago at this point, when Breath of the Wild had just come out, and Taylor said, and I quote, "Hey, Ada, Breath of the Wild came out. Did you get it?" And you said, "No," because that would involve buying a Switch, and we were comparatively. I
didn't have a job.
Yeah,
and I had a job, but it wasn't very good.
Yep.
Also, Animal Crossing wasn't on it, and that's what sells me systems. Yeah. That and Pokemon, but we all know what happened with the Pokemon on the Switch.
That's why as soon as they announced that it's being released, the PS5 is going to be a $1,000 Elder Scrolls 6 machine for me.
Wow, is the PS5 really $1,000?
I've heard rumors that it's going to retail for around that, but who knows?
$999 US.
And giant enemy crabs.
Let the memes return.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be. There reaches a cost point where it's just like inaccessible to people.
Yeah.
Especially if after everyone's like poor as fuck.
Yeah.
Fucking Ravier stealing their pants and, ruining the economy. But,
yeah.
So we'll see.
The PS5. Please send your stimulus check on this, please. Please.
It cost exactly. Hey Trump, how much is the next round of stimulus? Get Steve Mnuchin on the phone. All right, it's gonna be okay, $1,200 again. Okay, exactly $1,200.
Yeah. And that's after tax. So don't worry, you're good.
Yep.
You can afford it. Wink.
Oh, speaking of, I found out, I should have known this already, but the unemployment payments I've been relying on this entire time weren't taxed. So I'm going to have to pay a shit ton of money and owe a lot in taxes.
Great.
Yep. So might as well not have spent any of it.
Yep.
Wow.
It's like, hey, what if we pretended to give you money? Yeah. What if we gave you money, but you can't actually use any of it for anything because you got to give it all back?
Yep.
I'm telling you, man, my tinfoil hat's coming back on. This is all a conspiracy to make socialism look bad.
Yep.
This is all in the cards.
Like, see, this is what happens when you get free money. We take it back. That makes it a bad thing. Well, why don't you just not take it back? Why do it in a different way? Fuck you!
Why not do it in a different way? Socialism is scary! And then a bunch of people in the South are like, woo!
I saw an ad. I've been watching a lot of YouTube lately, and there was a Joe Biden ad that was a real Joe Biden ad.
Joe Biden?
A Joe Biden ad. And it came on, and Joe's like, there's like subtitles of what he's saying. He's like, "Hello, America. I'm have a problem. We got." He like slurred through his words, and I was like, "God damn it, God." First off, why did they let you keep that take and make that the ad? Who the fuck was asleep at the goddamn wheel?
It was really hot, and they could only take one take. They wanted to go home.
And also, like, is this a real Joe Biden ad, or did Trump's team or Russia, not Trump's team, they're way too incompetent, did Russia or some other nefarious troll party just straight up make, like, a shitty Joe Biden ad and present it as real and authentic as possible and stick it on YouTube? Because I wouldn't put it past him.
We never introduced ourselves.
That's what I was doing. I was introducing myself. Welcome to I'm Frankenstein. They hit me with the Joe Biden compliance wad, and I'm a little bit better now. Welcome to Frankenstein Control. I am your host, Taylor Russell. To my right is Ada Ship.
That's right, I'm Ada.
And you're going to talk about Breath of the Wild after we introduced in front of me, as always, B-Rye.
I'm B-Rye, and I'm one of those giant skeletal moblins. What's the big boys? Is that the moblins?
Yeah, the big ones are moblins.
Oh, yeah.
So I just need to whack you once, and then your head will fly off, and then I whack the head.
Yes.
Yes. And
I thought those were Stalfos. I thought all the skeletons
It's
were...
those are like stall moblins.
And-
There's like
and-
a stall variant.
Okay.
Yeah, in Breath of the Wild, there's like undead variants of all the monsters. The standard
Ah.
monsters have like an undead skeleton version that can just pop up sometimes to
Yeah.
spook you.
Does that mean that all the models in the game have skeletons inside them?
That's exactly how that works.
That
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
I thought-
Link has a skeleton inside him that yearns to be free. which
and
is
he
why,
does so at every opportunity.
Yeah, which is why you take so much damage and die so much. But seriously, I love that game.
Well, you enjoy lengthy exercises and frustration.
I love. Well, I don't even really die a whole lot now because I got to the point where like I understand how to buff myself properly, and like I have ingredients for food. Unlike in the beginning where everything kills you in one hit and all you have is 3 apples.
But man, those apples sure do taste good
They do.
when you are dead.
It's really funny to imagine Link it's just like the whole Skyrim problem of like pausing the game and just eating 50 apples in one sitting.
Problem, that's hilarious.
Just hold on. Okay, I'm good.
Eating food in Witcher 3 is also a quick way to regain health. And so
Yeah.
like Lissa just like she does the exact opposite of what I do, where like in every game I have this irresistible compulsion to be an inventory minimalist, where like I can't stand hauling around loads of shit. Whereas Lissa just collects every single thing she comes across.
Yes.
And just has an inventory full of like bits of string and old garbage and shit. And like swords she's like 12 levels past. Still lugging around.
Yeah, you gotta carry around a weak sword just in case you see something weak. You don't want to waste your knight's broadsword on a little red bokoblin.
Right.
You gotta carry around enfeebled stick and stalk of a mushroom that was a little bit bigger than a normal mushroom.
But so food that you collect will be healing items in Witcher, and it's a lot easier to find that than it is to like brew potions and find better healing items. So a lot of times she'll be like fighting some really, really difficult fucking fiend or something, and she's like, "Oh god damn it, eat the sandwich, eat the sandwich." She's like, she has like 12 chicken sandwiches equipped, like mapped to the down button on the D-pad, and she's just like mashing the button, and like the sandwich counter is going down, and Geralt's health is coming back up.
That's the same in Fallout 4, because in the previous 3D Fallout games, stim packs were like the big thing that you wanted, and food items sucked dick shit until New Vegas, and then they were improved a little bit. But the
all
stim
food
packs
did was irradiate you more.
Pretty much. But stim packs were awesome because, I'll get my ass whooped. And you press pause and then stim pack, and it just beep, 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 beep. And you're like, all right, I'm all better. Get ready, fucker. But in Fallout 4, you use a stim pack. Not only does they made it so that your health doesn't go up in the menu, you have to go back into the game and your character sticks themselves with a needle and then it kind of fills up your health at a rate. And I play in third-person mode, and classic Bethesda style, whenever I would use a stim pack, my character would stop in their fucking tracks. No matter what was chasing them, they would just stop and stick themselves with a needle, and no matter how much you pressed forward, your character wouldn't move until you jumped.
Aww.
And I'm like, Bethesda. And so what I would do instead is just stack food items to the sky, because food was the secret good boy in that game. And it got to a point where in the game you could just have unlimited health at any time, just because of better than the instant heals of a stim pack, because if you stack enough food, it just makes it go up at such a high rate that anything hurting you is pretty much just instantly healed depending on what items you ate. So you're basically Wolverine in every combat encounter. I'm like, I am invincible. So basically something has to one-shot me in order to kill me in that game, which isn't hard, because there's a lot of shit that will just straight up kill you.
You can also cook food so it doesn't have the bad effects.
That's what I do.
You cook the radiation.
Because that's how it works.
Yeah,
Yes.
cook the rads right out of your giant scorpion steak, and you'll be fine. You won't get cobalt poisoning, I promise.
Cobalt poisoning doesn't set in until years later.
Yeah. Oh, that
Which by the
explains all
time
the
you'll
lockjaw.
already be dead because of all the cobalt poisoning.
Ah, there you go. And it gives you heartburn like crazy.
Oh god, but Yeah.
Tell us about Breast of the Wild.
It's just so fun to run around and pick up everything and climb up a wall and find a rock and pick it up, and there's a squirrel underneath it, and it's just like, this is all I've ever wanted in a game.
It still
really
looks
happen?
really good.
Is there really squirrels under rocks?
No, there are Koroks underneath.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, yeah! And then they give you a little piece of poopy. And you're like, this is great.
They're like, complete this shooting challenge. And you're like, nah, I don't feel like doing this right now.
There's just so many little things everywhere. Like, if you... Like, anytime I have a goal, like, okay, I gotta go over there, it takes me, like, 3 times as long as I plan for, because I'm like, ooh, what's that? Ooh, what's that?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, what's that?
It's a great game for that. I truly do love exploration games like that.
Yeah.
In a big open world that's a really beautiful world. Like, the world is fucking beautiful. It's really cool and fun to explore. You get that sort of Adventure Time sense of wonder, you know, that whole show is about imparting that sort of euphoric freedom in a big fantasy environment.
Yeah.
And I totally get that. And have you seen any of the dragons yet?
No. But yes, I have seen one. The electric one that's just kind of chilling out around the bridge. We're like, I don't want to fuck with him.
Well, I just thought that was so cool because the first time I ever experienced anything like that was in Spyro 3, the original and the remake that included this. There's this, I think it's the 4th home world in Spyro 3 that you make to, and it's called Evening Lake. Mm-hmm. And the whole world is mostly a lake, and you swim around it, and there's just like a whale in the bottom of the lake, so that he just like swims in a big old circle, and you can sort of interact with him, but you can't really do much. And I just thought it was cool. There's just this big old dude chilling out there, and you know, just for atmosphere. I thought that was rad as hell, and I love that in games like in Skyrim. The mammoths and giants on the plains are kind of the same kind of deal. You know, they're just like there, and you can interact with them if you want, but they're just there for scenery. They're just chilling out.
Except that if the whale hit you with his giant bone club, you wouldn't go flying into the atmosphere
Yeah,
like
you
in
don't-
certain games.
You don't get moon launch. But those dragons are very much the same. I think there's 3 of them, and they're just chilling out in the game world for you to see. And like maybe you'll be walking down the road one night and you look up and there's one of them, and it has that kind of mythical status like that. You know, it's just cool. It's really fucking cool that they just put them in the game that way.
Yeah.
I
Behold the majesty of the giant electric dragon.
Did you ever meet the woman that has planted flowers around a shrine?
Probably.
That was like the only time where I'm like, man, fuck this. So far, shrines are like where you get heart containers, essentially.
Right.
So you always want to go to them and get their stuff. There's one where this woman has basically planted a maze of flowers around it, and if you step on the flowers, she'll like teleport you out of the maze and put you back at the start and be like, how dare you? What is wrong with you? I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why are you planting flowers around this like important tourist spot that like I need to save the world? I'm trying to help you, and yet you have inconvenienced me and get mad at me.
It teaches kids an important lesson that sometimes there are people that you desperately want to mangle and you can't.
Hashtag Kokiri Karen.
Yes, hashtag
Yes,
Kokiri
exactly.
Karen. I like that.
The
Hashtag Breath of the Wild, hashtag Kokiri Karen.
the little goddess statues at the shrines.
Yeah.
Alyssa wants to put one at our house
Aw.
in our garden, so we're gonna probably do that.
That's adorable. Because they are really cute. They would even look natural.
Exactly.
And
You guys talk about the
Things like
horrible
that.
mummified bogman that's in
no. At certain towns, there are little stone statues of kind of a angel looking thing.
Oh.
And that's where you spend your spirit orbs to get heart containers.
Oh, okay.
I know what you mean. I think the phenomenon is actually called Sokuchin Butsu. I might have butchered that and gotten royally fucked that up.
That's got me
that-
shaking in my butsu, I'll tell you that much.
That's that whole living Buddha thing where like monks would like mummify themselves and sit in that like the guys in the shrine. That's the mummified bogman you were referring to.
Oh, okay.
I
That's what they did.
Was first
They
exposed.
meditated themselves to death, and everyone's like, my God, it's a miracle.
Yeah.
When it's like, they just got so bored they died.
My first exposure.
Hey, a miracle is stupid.
My first exposure to that concept was a character named Saint Hakujin from Inuyasha. He's a part of the.
He was a mummified bogman?
He was a living Buddha mummy boy like.
Did he
that.
like Mum Ra out of his fucking like out of his tomb? Did he get all ripped and shit?
No, he didn't do that.
Oh.
But I'm pretty sure they had to fight him because he was actually bad, and he played a part in the Band of Seven arc.
What'd he do?
He established the barrier around. There's like this barrier around. So like Inuyasha and Sesshomaru, particularly Sesshomaru, fuck up Naraku real bad at one point. And because he's Naraku, he always flies away to like rebuild his body.
He just launches some bees at him and gets away.
Yeah, and the old bee and dash.
Naraku's miasma. He was just stanky. He just
take a shower.
Give a boy a bath. Well, he did have that like ratty ass hair too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
He looked stanky.
He did.
Naraku probably didn't smell good.
No, he probably did not. So he escaped. And they're like, where the fuck did Naraku go? We gotta find out. It's an entire arc about finding out where the fuck Naraku went. And then he reanimates the Band of Seven. The Band of Seven was a gang of mercenaries who loved killing. And they were just a blight on the
oh boy.
That's exactly Bankotsu, the leader.
Is Krombopolis Michael?
Yes, he's pretty much his Krombopolis Michael with a giant, a big ass anime sword. Give a big ass anime sword to Krombopolis Michael and his Bankotsu. And because at one point he just openly states, "My only goal." They're like, "We're so strong. Should we take over a country?" And he's like, "I don't really feel like it. I like fighting in wars." He's like, "My only goal is to kill as many people as humanly possible." And he just openly states it like that. And I was like, rad.
Hashtag squad goals.
B-Roy playing Skyrim.
Yes, exactly. Oh, no. It was Morrowind at the time. But I was like, goals.
Oh, God. Excuse me a moment. I'm sorry.
Taylor has to shit.
No, it's not that.
That being said, yeah, so they were like put to death by like the lords of the region because they got too bloodthirsty, and so Naraku reanimates them.
This is going to be a good idea.
Yeah, well, like he basically just uses them to buy time while he's hiding and rebuilding his body, and he hides away in this dumbass mountain that takes him a year to friggin' find. Like it felt like a year in episodes. To friggin' figure out where he was, and he was just hiding in this fucking mountain the entire time. And there was this barrier around the mountain that was like a sacred barrier that no demons could get through. So they're like, well, he's so evil he couldn't go through that barrier, so he can't possibly be there, except for the fact that the weird mummy monk who established the barrier is actually bad and just let him through or some shit that I never bothered to remember, even though I'm currently watching those episodes again.
It's Mum Ra. He's gonna be a big ripped mummy man.
Are you back from your sabbatical? Do you feel better?
I was curing something and I didn't want it to overcure.
Diseases.
You're 3D printed.
You don't want to heal people too much because then they won't need your health insurance.
Yeah, it's true. Why cure the disease when you can make money off of conditions?
The American way.
That got depressing. Let's talk about mummified Buddhists.
That's all I had to say about the subject.
No, I want to go back to the real world. Ada, tell me about escapist video games.
Breath of the Wild. You can run around and pick up things.
Wow. Compelling.
You can throw mushrooms in a frying pan on the ground outside of a horse place.
You can give a piece of meat to a dog and the dog will like you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Have
that's
you
nice.
ever been able to do the thing where you spin around in a circle and the dog starts spinning with you?
I haven't tried that. I want to like remember to bring a stick with me so I can take it to like one of the places where the dogs are and be like, fetch, and see if he grabs the stick and takes it back.
No.
Because that seems like it would be great.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Play fetch with the dog.
This game gets some criticism for its weapon system.
Mm-hmm. Oh, how everything's made of styrofoam?
Yeah, everything's made out of styrofoam. I kind of hated that at first, but now that I've like gotten into it more, it's like it's just another resource to manage, and I actually enjoy it.
Oh, the fact that the weapons break, and in the past Zelda games they don't break.
Yeah.
I hated that at first, too. They break too quickly.
And, it depends on how you use it.
I mean, eventually you get, like, the Master Sword, and it doesn't break that quickly, and you can, like, remake it, or whatever the fuck.
They'll, like, charge it back up or something.
Something like that. But I was like, yeah, boy, this is a pain in the ass, because I like picking weapons and sticking with them. And I think what pissed me off is I don't mind it when weapons degrade if they want to include that as like a realistic kind of a. I hesitate to use the word realistic, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But like, give me the ability to fix them.
Yeah,
so I can keep ones I like.
I would definitely like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you get a lot of them constantly. So my method so far has been to sort of have 2 or 3 like really high level weapons, and then everything else is kind of expendable, and those are the ones I use to just kind of get around the world. And when there's something that's like actually giving me trouble, that's when I bring out the big ones.
So I guess my question in this is that is the system of the weapons breaking so often and so fast, is that something you actually like, or is that something you're willing to deal with because the rest of the game is good? Because I know...
For me, it's definitely that.
I fucking play Kingdom Hearts, so I'm all about that, ignoring glaring flaws to enjoy an experience. So, just, I'm on the boat with you.
Yeah. It hasn't... Since I got out of the starting area, I haven't really gotten to the point where I've, like, run out of weapon. And I always, like, fill up really quickly with usable stuff. It's kind of hard to say if I would like it if they didn't degrade, because then I just haven't experienced the game that way. And it does add a certain amount of pressure on you that I enjoy that would probably not be present if nothing broke. I do absolutely agree with B-Rai, though, that there should be an option to, like...
Fix?
Yeah, to, like, set it so a weapon won't destroy completely or something, and will instead become unusable, and you can just keep it in your inventory and then have somebody fix it up.
I mean, it would
It would
give
add
you a
blacksmiths
good...
to the game.
Yeah, it would give you a good rupee sink.
Yeah.
Although apparently there's plenty of rupee sinks in Breath of the Wild anyway.
Well, then when you get down to like 1 or 2 more strikes on a weapon, you can yeet it at a bokoblin.
Yeah, that's always fun, to just chuck your weapons around.
And, well, the only reason I asked that question is because, like, I haven't played the game myself, but a video game man whose opinion I generally respect most of the time, a fellow named Jim Sterling, he hates that mechanic.
Yeah.
And, like, demoted the game an entire 2 points because of it.
Wow.
And everybody, well, not really. I mean, he there were some other things he didn't like about the game, but, like, I'm pretty sure, like, the weapon breaking system drove him nuts, and he, like, docked the game an entire point or something, and everybody flipped their goddamn minds when he gave the game I think he gave it like a 7 out of 10, and everybody lost their minds because we've all grown so, like, used to every game being 8, 9, 10 out of 10, like that kind of shit. So, like, when you give something an actual realistic score, people lose their goddamn minds.
Yeah.
And I personally, it's kind of why I've been avoiding Breath of the Wild. And, like, I keep trying to tell myself that, like, somebody described it as treat the weapons in this game not as weapons, but as, like, power-ups.
Or I kind of treat it as ammo, frankly.
Yeah. Treat it as sword ammo.
Yeah.
And, like, that's neat, but the thing is, like, the ammo thing kind of falls to the wayside because if you lose all your ammo in a gun in any other video game, you just find more ammo.
Yeah.
And instead, like, you don't throw your gun away like a crazy person unless you're playing BioShock Infinite. So I think that's where it's getting lost to me. Like, if you had the option to fix the swords, I think even if they broke as fast as they did, I wouldn't have a problem with that system at all. If you just had the option to fix them.
Yeah.
And it could be really expensive to fix them. I wouldn't care. As long as I know the option is there, I'd be cool with it. But the fact that it isn't, it's just sort of like, ugh.
Yeah.
I got this. Okay, so the power-up thing was lost to me too. Think of it as like a special item. That was lost to me as well because... So, if you play a little game called Super Mario RPG, do you remember these, like, the game has lots of cool special items that you can use in battle. But you don't know how much there are. And, like, I'm referring to red essences. But, like, we can talk about the coveted elixir in any RPG. What do you do with the elixirs? Do you fucking use them in dick shit battles?
Yeah, you save them until, like... QLEX, basically.
Yeah, you save them until the final boss, and then by that point you don't need them.
Yeah.
So, like, Breath of the Wild kind of forces you to break that habit. But the thing is, it wouldn't be a problem if they hadn't set it up the way they did. So it wouldn't have to be a habit you would have to break. Because the weapons already do that. I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about how that works. And I don't know. Maybe it is just a matter of sucking it up. I don't know.
I get attached to weapons. I love weapons.
I wanted to say that, but I didn't want to sound like, while you were dating girls, I was studying the blade.
You gave all your weapons away to a dumpster. Like a fool. You've wasted all your training.
I'm going to have to do that soon because I got a fucking closet full of swords and we're moving next week. So
donate them to Goodwill, bro.
I got a bunch. Well, no, because I actually like most of them. And most of them are like good swords, but... I got a bunch of swords and a broken crossbow and a broken compound bow. Mm-hmm. And
how you breaking all these bows, you dang dong?
Well, the compound bow I found in the trash.
Oh wait, are they from Breath of the Wild?
No. The crossbow belonged to a friend, and she just broke the string. And was like, you know what? I've already paid to fix this thing one time. I'm just like, all it needs is a new string and to have the cord reset.
Yeah.
And then it's probably good, and I can do that, and then I'll have me a big old hunting crossbow. I don't intend to go hunting, at least not for animals, because I like animals.
You don't go animal hunting, you go Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Speaking of Animal Crossing, Tom Nook is here.
Oh God, my loan payment.
Oh, is that it? Be right quick, out the window. I'll distract Mr. Nook.
Wait, you should be very lucky that you have Tom Nook as your contractor, essentially, because he doesn't...
He's a very chill dude.
He doesn't charge you interest. He doesn't hound you for loan payments. I had the loan on my final house or my final upgrade on my house that I just don't need to pay for, and he's not even looking at me weird.
Yeah.
I still owe him over $1 million bells, and he's just kind of cool with it.
Mr. Nook. Once again, we see there's nothing you can't take away from me. Be right quick, slip out the window. Behold, Nook, I challenge you to a nut off. Look how large my testicles are.
Now even you know I am a menace. I hand you the secrets to save the entire human race and the entire universe.